it be possible to send different groups on different tours?
Definitely.
Tours?
I was going to say, along with what
James
was saying, if you consider breaking up the groups, that would be even easier for us to accommodate and breaking them up into different weekends. It allows for even more individualized attention for the groups when they're smaller. And we like to travel by 15-passenger van to get into different areas, as opposed to large tour bus. And it's easier to accommodate into smaller regions and going into these communities as a smaller group as opposed to a larger 75-person group. So if you'd be willing, not to say that we couldn't work with a large group, but our options are less working with a larger group than with a smaller group.
And less intimacy.
We also believe that in the smaller groups, we would offer better educational experience to the students into how responsible to the culture and the delicate balance of the eco systems that we want the students to look at, so that they are responsible citizens, and responsible learners when they go. Because we appreciate that our tourists don't leave anything behind, and that they respect the local cultures and do not take any photos without the permission of the local population. So that is an added feature to the students, because they will learn through the way how you could be a responsible learner while also learning about nature and culture.
I think we would agree that smaller groups are better.
Yeah.
Also.
Mm-hmm.
We're not planning on sending 7,500 people all at the same
That's
spot.
pretty unmanageable,
Yeah.
for a huge group. Can you guys talk a little bit? We've talked to a few other organizations who are offering similar type experiences at what seems to be about half the cost of your program. So an entire week-long program for $500 versus 2 or 3 days for $600. So I guess maybe if you could talk about how your experience compares to some of those other organizations, why it might be cost more. Is insurance included in this package?
And we also, well, the 2 to 3 days would be great if we're going to try to coordinate it over a weekend. We're also thinking about having perhaps an 8 to 10 day trip during spring break, and we were really looking at the idea of a homestay for the students. So we wanted to know if that's not typical with your organization, but is that possible in addition to what Dana just had?
Yeah, it's not typical, but it is possible, especially if you're willing to work with smaller groups. Additionally, the longer program is not something that we normally do. But as I said previously, because of the small nature of our organization, we'd be willing to work with you to make a longer trip. Because that would be entirely specialized, we can't give you a price point on that right now. But we would be willing to definitely work with you. It would require, obviously, additional meetings and things like that. But we are willing to do that.
And as far as the price, I can't speak for the other organizations because I don't know what types of providers they use, what types of accommodations they offer. But our accommodations, for the Heritage Tour that I mentioned, there are motels both nights. So there is the hotel cost, and we offer restaurant options as well. The cost of our programs are, I mean, we're not making a lot of profit here, you know. It's basically what the cost of that it takes to run the program and pay all of the services adds up to at the end of the 3 days. So there's not a whole lot of flex room there, but
Are they luxurious hotels, or are they pretty?
the Heritage Tours, they're nice motels. And we haven't talked much about the Desert Sea Tour yet, but it does include a camping component.
The Desert and Sea Tour is another 2-night, 3-day tour option that we have. It's more a stronger ecological component, whereas the Heritage Tour is more of a historical perspective, specifically looking at the unique ecologies of the area because of the Colorado River and the sea, hitting the sea. There's some really unique ecology in the area, so we'd be going to look at certain things. There's a lot of exploration. There's a volcano. There's some hiking. There's also going to a local conservation center and doing some work with the people there. So there's a lot. I feel like there's a stronger curricular component to that and a stronger science component to that as well. But it's 1 day camping, 1 day in a motel. And it's a little bit cheaper. The price point on that, Jasmine, is?
It's about the same actually, because we have to, it includes all the camping gear, the tents, the people to help us prepare the food and everything. So it's about the same, but it's got more of an adventure aspect to it, out in nature, living in the unique ecology of the land. So, and it also includes kayaking and entrance to all of the sites, which most national parks that we visit and heritage sites that we visit do require entrance fees. So, I mean, most of the costs are entrance fees and equipment and accommodation.
So we hope to hear from you. We
Yeah.
could have a look at our brochures and we'll continue talking to you guys.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very much.